for the blood god.
Hey you go guys, Dean from Blog for the Blood God here. I've got my mate Sean with me and we're going to be doing a 1250 point battle report for you.
Yep. This is my 1250 of Space Marines with a Knight in it. We've got Command Squad down the bottom here. So we've got level 1 Librarian on the left. Just got a Captain in there with a Power Fist and Apothecary. And then you've got a extra Power Fist, 2 Melters, 3 Tac Squads. Each one has a Grav Gun in it. The one in the centre has a Combi Grav on the Sergeant. And then you've got 2 drop pods. Coloured drop pod will go with the Command Squad, and the other drop pod will go with the Grav Combi Grav in the centre there. We've got Night Warden, standard, and the chapter tactics that I'm running is Iron Hand, so everything's got 6 up, feel no pain, and the Command Squad with the Apothecary goes to a 4 up, feel no pain, and every character has It Will Not Die, same with the vehicles, with the exception of the Knight, obviously, because it's not Iron Hands.
Alrighty, so here's my 1250 points of Chaos Daemons. I'll be using the Daemonic Incursion Detachment from the new Curse of Wulfen supplement. So I've got my core detachment is a Murder Horde, which has got a Herald of Khorne, which I've mounted on a Juggernaut. He has the Loki of Wrath, so he gives hatred to any unit within 12 inches of him will get hatred. Then I've also got 6 units of 5 Flesh Hounds, and then 2 units of 10 Bloodletters with no upgrades whatsoever. Then an auxiliary detachment is the Hunter of Khorne, which is the Flesh Hound and the Karanak up the top here. And a command formation is the Demon Lord, which is the Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage, and he has a greater reward as well, which I'm just going to go for a D3 roll. Hopefully see if I can get him re-roll invulnerable saves or something funky like that. And then for my Warlord trait, I can't remember the name of it, but basically any Khorne demons within 8 inches of the Bloodthirster gets 6 up, feel no pain, and the Bloodthirster himself gets a 4 up, feel no pain, was his Warlord trait. But yeah, so we're going to clear off the table now and we'll get into deployment. Alrighty guys, we've just finished terrain placement, objective placement and deployment. So I'll run you through the terrain first. We've got a big Dreadhold over here taking up that quarter of the table. Then littered throughout we've got some defense lines and other bits and bobs, and then a couple of bastions down in this back corner here. We rolled Hammer and Anvil for deployment type, so short table edges. And then we placed our objective markers, so we've got one here, so there's 2 along the front there, and then there was a 3rd down there in my deployment zone. And then for the other 3, you've got 1 along the front here, and then 2 in Sean's deployment zone. And then we rolled to deploy and go first. Sean won that roll off, chucked a couple tactical squads down and his Knight, and then he's got another tactical squad and a command squad in drop pods ready to come in. Then I went through and did my deployment, Bloodthirster up on the bastion there, just so he's got a nice good view of the battlefield. Then a big line of Flesh Hounds all the way along the front here, all ready to scout up and capture some ground. Then I've got the Herald and the Karanak, both joined this unit of Flesh Hounds, just to get as many Loki on that unit as possible. And then the Bloodletters in the back here, ready to sort of mop up after the Flesh Hounds. So that's deployment. We rolled Spoils of War, so we start with, was it 6 cards? It was 3 cards, and you can achieve, if he has secure objective 2 and I hold 2, then I'll get that point. And yeah, so ready, Sean? I'm going to roll to seize the initiative.
Do it. I suggest you do it.
You suggest? I suggest I do it as well. 4, no luck.
Nah.
Alrighty, so we're going to get into Imperial turn 1. And we'll get back to you. Alrighty, so that's the end of game turn 1. So in Sean's turn, he opened fire, he killed a couple of hounds out of each unit and a couple of bloodletters off of this unit here.
Like 7.
He killed 7 Bloodletters and a Fleshhound, but didn't actually manage to wipe out an entire unit. Then in my turn, everything
Hold on, you missed the important bit where my knight fired at your Bloodthirster.
Yes, his knight fired at the Bloodthirster.
So there was 12.
But luckily I got 4 up, feel no pain on my Warlord trait, so he only managed to take down 1 wound, which was awesome for me. And then in my turn, I used the Grimoire to boost him to a 3 up invulnerable save, and then on the Warp Storm, I rolled the Warp Fluctuates, or whatever it's called, where every demon gets +1 to its invulnerable save. So he's now on a 2 up invul with 4 up feel no pain. So, and he's about to charge that knight. So yeah, it should be interesting. So yeah, anyway, that was so at the end of my turn, everything charged up forwards. The Herald, Karanak, and the Fleshhounds charged the Marines that came down to contest this objective, wiped them out. So that was first blood to me. And so that's pretty much a recap of the end of game turn 1. We forgot to record the end of Sean's turn because it was so fast. So I just sort of included what Sean did in his turn in my video, but we'll do it proper from now. And alright, we're going to get back to you at the end of Sean's turn 2.
Right, end of my turn 2. I shot basically to try and thin out all the hounds that were coming towards me. I believe I knocked off about 4 or 5 hounds across like 3 different squads, and that was just from the combined firepower of those 2 squads of Marines and the Warden. Stormbolt from that fired into the arse end of those guys and did nothing. I was going to charge these guys with the Knight afterwards, but realised that he'll probably whoop me that turn and get in on it, and he's got like a 2 up invuln, so probably not worth it. But yeah, that's where it's at. The pain's about to be dropped. We'll see what happens. My reserves didn't come in as well, as you can see. I'm still waiting on another pot of dudes, but anyway, peace out.
Alrighty guys, that's the end of my turn 2. Everything just sort of moved up forwards. Fleshhounds got into combat with some Marines here. Unit of Fleshhounds got into combat with the Knight just to tie him up so he's not shooting at me anymore. And then these Fleshhounds got in with these Marines. Warp Storm, I rolled Khorne's Wrath, so I was able to place a small blast of Strength 8 AP3 on a roll of 6, but I didn't get any. So the Warp Storm was literally useless. And I got the Grimoire off on the Bloodthirster, so he's got 3 up invul. And then yeah, the combat's basically the Fleshhounds murdered 3 or 4 Marines from there, 3 from there and 7 from there. I lost maybe 1 Fleshhound
To Overwatch.
to Overwatch, yeah. And then it was hilarious. The Knight, with all of his Strength D attacks and all of his stomps, he still only managed to inflict 1 wound on one of those Fleshhounds. So he's successfully tied up for a while. And so that's what we got at the end of my turn 2. We're going to jump into Sean's turn 3 and we'll get back to you.
Alright, turn 3 for the Marines and the Knight done. My reserves didn't come in, which is fantastic. I rolled another 1. These dudes shot and killed a hound. Sweet. Those guys over there in combat didn't do anything, but didn't get anything done to them. That's alright. The Knight killed 2 hounds.
Yeah, killed 2 and wounded 2.
Yeah, so it did a little bit better, but you're still going to get charged next turn. But meh, is what it is. If he lives, it's going to be amazing. It's actually going to be stupendous. But yeah, that's where it's at. I got behind enemy lines for cards, and then a couple of objectives, which Dean is going to steal anyway. So, look, I think I'm on like 5 or something at the moment. I believe that Dean is like on 7 or some shit. So, yeah, it's going well. See you next turn.
So there we have the end of the Khorne Demons turn 3. It was actually a pretty epic turn. We had Fleshhounds over here charged and wiped out the remainder of those Marines. These Fleshhounds lost combat to those Marines, but managed to pass their instability test. Thankfully, I get the rerolls for being a Demonic Incursion, otherwise that unit would have been wiped out. But I get the rerolls, so it's all good. Then this Bloodthirster swooped in and attacked the Knight, and I'm thinking, yep, 3-up involved, he should be sweet, and then he'll cut that Knight in half. But I actually had 8 attacks on the charge, and I only got 2 hits, hitting on a 3-up, so he fucking missed really bad. And then he rolled a 1 and a 5 for the strength of his D attack, so I actually only took 2 hull points off the Knight, but luckily he missed just as bad as me in his retaliation, so it's just a bit of a retarded combat there. But yeah, all good. All good. So we're going to jump into turn 4 of the Space Marines, and we will be back.
Yep.
End of turn 4.
Drop pod came in.
Yeah, look at it. Reserves automatically come in on turn 4. What up? So command squad came down, shot at that unit with melters and bolt pistols. I think I killed...
You killed 2 guys.
2 hounds.
2 hounds, and wounded 1.
I went off and got force for the Psychic Case on my Librarian and Perils because I rolled doubles for days, and Dean has this thing.
Karanak.
Yeah, that, and it screws up. Anyway, rolled a 1, copped a wound, but didn't get everyone else dead, so that's not too bad. We didn't get dragged to the wall. Rest of the combat went on. Obviously, those guys died, but I think that happened last turn.
Yeah.
These guys ground on with that. Saves were made from everyone.
No casualties.
And as you can see, my Knight's still here with 1 hull point. Yeah, so second round of combat with a D-slapper and still living.
Still kicking.
Yep. Hopefully I can get lucky and get a 6 on him next turn.
I reckon they're going to kill each other at the same time. That's my guess.
There you go. You've heard it here first.
Yeah. They're going to die at the same time.
I'm going to bet that he actually just dies.
Yeah.
My guy, that is.
Well, hopefully he fucking dies, but
Yeah.
your stomp's got the same time as my Bloodthirster, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you're going to get the stomps regardless.
Oh, nice. Anyway, we'll cross the bridge when we get to it. So, yeah, still pretty boned, but, we'll see what happens.
Alrighty, there we have it. That's the end of the Chaos Daemons turn 4, and as you can see, my prediction was wrong. The Bloodthirster did not die at the same time as the Knight. He cut that fucker in half. He lost a wound to catastrophic damage, however, and I also lost a couple of hounds to that as well from the ensuing blast. But yeah, that was nice. Then we had this combat here, just grinded, took out a few more Marines, and the event that was most interesting was over here. We had a challenge. My Herald took on his captain and fucked that guy up. And then the Hounds and the Karanak managed to take out the rest of the unit. So yeah, that was a nice eventful combat. So now all that Sean has left on the table is 2 Marines and 2 pods. So Sean's happy to call it. Oh, I don't know if happy is the word I'd use. He's prepared to call the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking awesome game for me. Not so much for Sean. I think it was more just a matchup of lists. Like, his Marines didn't really have much chance with this many Hounds coming at him. We're going to do the same game in a minute against Tau. That one won't be a video though. I'll just post pictures on my blog.
The one that he loses, he doesn't do a report on.
Hey, I didn't fucking... Yeah, anyway. So some notes for me. This Demonic Incursion Detachment is fucking bananas. What I was doing is I was marking any objective that I corrupted. I'd mark with one of those corn tokens. And by the end of the game, I pretty much held every objective marker. Even though I only have like 4 or 5 units left on the table. So if I didn't have the Demonic Incursion, I would have had to have Bloodletters and Fleshhounds chilling back here on objectives for no point. So that was a massive boost. +1 to the Murder Horde detachment, +1 to any attack of any unit that's within 6 inches of another unit, and also the ability for the Herald's Loki to go on units within 12 inches, not just his own unit. That was very, very helpful. What else was fucking awesome? Oh, the Warp Storm. I managed to get a 2-up invul on that Bloodthirster thanks to the adding +1 or -1 to the Warp Storm, so that was pretty helpful. And then I also rolled, on one of the turns, I rolled the one that reduces the invulnerable saves of all demons by 1. But since I'm able to plus or minus, I just boosted that up to 1. So
Yeah, I reckon
that was
Storm
really
manipulation is probably the most badass thing about
the Warp Storm manipulation was fantastic, and also the rerolls to demonic instability came into play. I would have lost a unit of Flesh Hounds over there had I not been able to do that. So literally, everything that new detachment brings, I used. And it's not like I was going out of my way to try to. All of them are just naturally, they just fit in really, really well with the Khorne Demons. So yeah, that's my feedback. Sean's so bummed that he's just sitting over there on his little phone all sad because he lost.
Fuck you. That was a good game.
But yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say, so make sure you head over to my Facebook page and give me a like, because not every battle that we do, we go to this much effort and film. Like the Tower battle we're about to do, there'll just be pictures posted and comments and that sort of stuff on there, so make sure you keep up with the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let us know what you want to see in the next battle report, and we'll do our best to make it happen. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.
Hello, Loyalist. Look at your axe. Now back to mine. Now back to your axe. Now back to mine. Sadly, yours isn't mine. But if you stop worshipping the false emperor and switch to Khorne, it could maim like mine. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're in a Land Raider with the axe your axe could maim like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's the skull of a space marine. Look again. The skull is now entrails. Anything is possible when you worship chaos and not a corpse. I'm on a juggernaut. Blog for the Blood God.